Welcome to Meet the Candidates. I'm Keith Tebow. As a public service, Fall River Community Media is inviting candidates running for office to use up to 5 minutes of airtime to speak to the voters of Fall River. What you are about to see are statements by the candidates running in the special election for the vacant 6th Bristol District State Representative seat. The general election will be held Tuesday, September 10th. So let's meet the candidates running in the state general election for the 6th Bristol District State Representative seat.
Hi, my name is Carol Fiola, and I'm a candidate for State Representative in the 6th Bristol District. As you consider voting for me or my opponent, I'd like to take this opportunity to address some basic questions which I think are important as you evaluate who you're going to vote for in the upcoming election. First, who am I? I was born here, lived here, and raised a family here. My parents were Diane Sorrell Weglowski and Alphonse Weglowski. I graduated from Durfee High in 1978 and UMass Amherst in '82. I've been married for 27 years to my husband Ken, and we've raised two daughters, Alex and Lauren. Both girls graduated from Durfee, and Alex is working as a nurse at Yale New Haven Hospital, and Lauren's entering her senior year at UMass Lowell. Throughout my life, I've always worked in the private sector, whether it was dishing out ice cream cones as a teenager, work-study at college, manager of marketing communications at Decnatel, vice president of WSAR HTB Radio, co-owner of Fiola Real Estate, or being a top producer at Remax Right Choice. Like you, I've always appreciated the value of hard work. While working in the private sector, I've always found time to volunteer for causes that I thought were important. My volunteerism has consisted of participation in such organizations as the American Heart Association, St. Anne's Walk for Breast Cancer, St. Mary's Education Fund, Smiles Mentoring, Michael's Fund, Healing Little Hearts, Junior Achievement, and the Morton Middle School Oversight Committee, to name a few. In addition to working full-time and volunteering for these organizations, I also served as your governor's counselor on Beacon Hill from 2001 to 2011, representing over 40 cities and towns, including Fall River, Freetown, New Bedford, and Taunton. I met regularly with either the governor or lieutenant governor and evaluated governor's nominees for judgeships, clerk magistrates, and other important positions. Now I'm seeking the position of state representative. Why? What is a state representative? Why is it important to everyone watching? A state rep is your voice in Boston. There are 160 state representatives statewide, and each representative represents about 40,000 people. These representatives file and enact laws that affect each of us individually, as families, and our community. Your representative is your voice and linked to the political process on Beacon Hill. It's important that your voice be strong, experienced, and articulate in carrying forward the issues of importance to you personally as well as the region. Whether you're concerned about education, the environment, public safety, jobs, or have issues with the Registry of Motor Vehicles, immigration, health care, or disability office, you need a person who'll answer the phone when you call and work on your behalf to get the answers you need. I believe that I'm that person and would be honored to work on your behalf in Boston. So why Carol Fiola? By now, I hope you can see that I have a passion for this community and the energy and experience in Boston to get things done. This passion, energy, and experience is propelling me back into public service to represent this region that I love and believe in. In my time away from Beacon Hill, I've missed fighting and advocating for issues of importance to this area and its people. I believe that if elected, I will be the most experienced rookie state representative in Boston. As the former governor's counselor for 10 years, I'm no stranger to the State House. I won't need a map to find my way around. I worked with the past 4 governors, know the legislative leaders, and they know me. In short, I have the necessary experience to hit the ground running. Unlike my opponent, upon election, I will become part of the Democratic Party on Beacon Hill. Common sense tells us that my opponent, in concert with the other Republican representatives, as part of the minority party, will not be able to get things done or effectuate change as a rookie state representative in that minority Republican Party. And this district can't afford to lose time on issues of importance. I want to take my knowledge, experience, hard work, passion, energy, and team-building approach back to Beacon Hill to have my voice and your voice heard and immediately fight for issues that are important to us. Now you may be asking, what's my agenda and my vision for the future? I see it as your rep has to be your voice and advocate. Your rep has to create and focus an agenda that's tailored to your needs in the community and the region. As I've gone through the district knocking on thousands of doors and listening to your concerns, I've developed the Fiola 5-Point Action Plan, which concentrates on jobs, education, public safety, environment, and quality of life. This can be accessed on my website at electcarol.com. I ask that you read it, question it, critique it, and make suggestions on how to improve it. I think the plan's realistic, focused, down to earth, and doable. But, and this is a big but, I can only do it with your support, your input, and more importantly, your vote on September 10th. Please give me the chance and honor to be your voice in Boston, knowing that I'll never intentionally disappoint you and knowing that no one will ever work harder for you and your family. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Steinhoff, and I'm asking for your vote on September 10th to serve as your next state representative for the 6th Bristol District, which includes North Fall River and Assonet. I'm running for state representative because I believe we have a rare opportunity to do something different for the greater Fall River area. To show my commitment to making my campaign different, I will not take a pension or travel expenses. Beacon Hill's policies are simply not working, and unfortunately the Boston politicians just last week have decided to double down on those very same failed policies by raising the gas tax, cigarette tax, and adding a computer tax on working families. In contrast, we need to expand the ability of our local government to provide services in a more efficient and inexpensive way. We need to make Massachusetts an affordable place to live, and we need to make sure that our government is accountable. My campaign is straightforward. We need jobs. We need to make Massachusetts affordable by fighting against extensive taxation, regulation, and litigation. I am running for state representative because I believe the Fall River area needs a seat at the table on Beacon Hill, and our need for jobs is greater than ever. Fall River and Assonet have been taken for granted by the one-party system in the Boston area that runs our state. Many promises have been made over the years, such as the South Coast Rail. Our unemployment rate is almost double the state average, and the dropout rates in our public schools keep rising. And businesses like Meditech are being pushed away by big government. Now it's time to do something different and fix our problems here in Fall River and Assonet instead of passing the responsibility off to government agencies in Boston who ultimately do not care if we succeed or fail. We have an enormous opportunity to send a very powerful message to Beacon Hill by electing me instead of the same career politicians who promise everything and deliver next to nothing, but policies that make Massachusetts uncompetitive and unaffordable. As a third-generation Fall River resident, a BMC Durfee High School graduate, and a Fall River business owner, I am committed to serving as a voice for our neighborhoods, our families, and small businesses. Practicing dentistry in the Fall River area for the past 23 years, I take pride in always being available to serve my patients' needs, and I will do the same for the citizens of the 6th Bristol District. As the owner and operator of Steinhoff Dental Clinic, a general dental practice established by my father in 1947, I know all too well the challenges facing small businesses, businesses that create 3 out of every 4 jobs in our region. As a healthcare provider, I see firsthand the devastating effect this failing economy has had on my patients and their families. When I was in high school, it was very easy to get a job. I simply made one phone call because jobs were plentiful in our region. One of my first jobs was loading trucks on the 3rd shift at Anderson Little, a once prominent textile manufacturer. Again, while attending SMU, now today UMass Dartmouth, I worked loading trucks 3rd shift for Roadway to help pay my way through school. Sadly, today, it is very hard for young people to find jobs in our region. I want to help restore the opportunities I had when I was young. While campaigning and talking to voters and listening to their concerns, I find they are concerned about crime, crumbling neighborhoods, and the lack of jobs. This is not the Fall River we grew up in. Our neighborhoods were safe, our streets were clean, and our downtown was thriving. We have more potential than any other area in this state. Given our location, our rail, and our seaport, we should be a thriving commercial port for short sea shipping. If you agree with me, I need your help. If you turn out and vote for me on September 10th, we can make history by doing something profoundly different for our region. If you would like more information about my campaign, please check out my website at davidsteinhoff.com, and that's DAVIDSTEINHOF. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail. Thank you.
Those are the candidates running in the state general election for the 6th Bristol District state representative seat. The election is Tuesday, September 10th. Not all Fall River voters will be eligible to vote in this election. Only voters in precincts 5B and C, 6C, and those in wards 7, 8, and 9 are eligible to vote. If you're not sure if you reside in these precincts, contact the Fall River Election Office at 508-324-2630. That's Meet the Candidates. I'm Keith Tebow. For those eligible, please make a point to vote on Tuesday, September 10th. Welcome to Meet the Candidates. I'm Keith Tebow. As a public service, Fall River Community Media is inviting candidates running for office to use up to 5 minutes of airtime to speak to the voters of Fall River. What you are about to see are statements by the candidates running in the Fall River City preliminary election. The preliminary election will be held Tuesday, September 10th. This year, only the race for mayor will appear on the official Fall River preliminary election ballot. Candidates running for school committee and city council will appear on the November 5th city election. All candidates were invited to take part in the taping of statements. Those who chose not to take part will have their name displayed over a blank screen. So let's meet the candidates for mayor in the Fall River preliminary election.
My name is Joe Cavallo and I'm running for mayor of Fall River. I was born and raised in Fall River and I'm a homeowner and taxpayer here. I attended Espirito Santo School in the Flint and graduated from BMC Durfee High School. As the youngest of 5 children, I was the first person in my family to attend and graduate from college. I'm running for mayor because I believe I possess the requisite skills, leadership experience, compassion, energy, and faith in the citizens of our city. I have demonstrated a fervent commitment to the citizens of Fall River by my leadership of the Coalition for Responsible Siting of LNG Facilities, as Vice President of the Flint Neighborhood Association, as a member of the Coalition for Social Justice, and as the chairman of the Coalition to Stop the New BFI Dump. My experiences as a teacher afford me a unique perspective on the strengths and challenges of our school district, and I am committed to assuring that our students have the education and skills needed to compete in the 21st century workplace. As a former social worker and counselor, I work tirelessly with families in crisis that face challenges both financial and emotional to achieve healthy and positive outcomes. As a school to career specialist, I work successfully with high school students, their parents, and employers, securing paid and unpaid internships, leading to informed and practical career and college choices for many students. As a Vietnam veteran, I worked with recent veterans attending Bristol Community College, helping guide them around the college environment and securing multiple and varied resources on the local, state, and federal levels to assist them. My experiences with local, state, and federal agencies and officials has provided me with keen insights and strategies that will serve me well in securing much-needed resources for our city, and I will make this happen. My campaign will focus on education, ensuring that each and every student leaving our district does so with the requisite skills necessary to compete in the global economy, on economic development, with increased efforts to attract new businesses and strengthen existing businesses, on public safety, increasing the boots on the ground so that our police department has its full complement of officers to carry out their mission, and restoring the people's trust in city government, which has eroded dramatically over the past few years. I want to instill hope and faith in the citizenry of Fall River by having public service be about what you know and not who you know. I seek the office of mayor to remove the cloak of secrecy and backroom deals that seems to be the business model of the current administration. I would appreciate your support on Tuesday, September the 10th, the preliminary election in Fall River. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mayor Will Flanagan. I want to take this opportunity to thank Fall River Community Media and Bristol Community College for giving me the opportunity to speak to you, the citizen. In 2009, with your help and your vote, I was elected mayor of the great city of Fall River. Then in 2011, you came out for me one more time, and I was re-elected to serve our great community. In 2013, once again, my name is on the ballot, and I'm seeking a third term as mayor of this great city to continue what we started together. I reflect back on 2009 and the progress we've made over the last 3.5 years. In 2009, our unemployment rate was hovering around 19%. Today, that unemployment rate has dropped 7 percentage points. And as mayor of this great community, I work daily with our local officials, our state leaders, and our federal leaders to stimulate our economy. Just recently, we received a $1 million grant for the city of Fall River to help our unemployed workers get connected with future employers. That money is being used by our Career Center, our Workforce Investment Board, and our Bristol County Training Consortium to get people back to school so they can get a license, to get into a program, to get an associate's degree, to get a higher education to improve the quality of their life. And we're working on zoning issues, tackling major issues to create a climate here in our community that will attract business to our city, but also help our businesses keep their doors open. But even though we've made progress in our economy, I still recognize there's a lot more that needs to be done. There's still people who are unemployed, still people who are underemployed. That's why we must continue to work together to create the climate that will create jobs in our community and have businesses attract here. I look at our education system. Back in 2009, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education was threatening to take over our school system. 3.5 years later, we've seen our graduation rates increase, we've seen our dropout rate decrease, and more students are being placed in advanced placement courses. And the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has indicated that our school system is making progress. But even though we've made progress, I still recognize that there's children who cannot read by the 3rd grade, students who are still dropping out of high school, teachers who feel they do not have a voice in the classroom. That's why we must continue to work together to improve our school system. I look at our public safety. Back in 2009, our police department was severely cut. Our fire department was severely cut. By working together, we've been able to restaff our police department and restaff our fire department and give our police officers the tools they need to adequately protect and to serve our community. But even though we've made progress in public safety, there's still a lot more that needs to be done. There's still people who are being victimized or people who are in fear of becoming victims of crime. That's why we must continue to work together. One of the last topics I want to talk to you about is a topic that I feel is having a negative effect on our economy, having a negative effect on our public safety, and having a negative effect on our school system, and that's drugs. The drug epidemic that's occurring right now in the city of Fall River is having a detrimental effect on our community. I'll tell you a quick story. Many of you know, before I was elected mayor, I was a prosecutor here in Bristol County. And one day before the call of the list, a lady came into the courtroom to speak with me. She said, "I need to speak with you. My son was arrested last night for drug possession." I said, "Ma'am, you may not want to speak with me. You may want to speak to your son's defense attorney. He'll be in shortly and I'll point him out to you." She said, "No, I know who you are and I need to speak with you. You cannot have my son leave this courtroom this morning, because if he does, the next building I see him in will be the morgue." Now there is a mother who came to me as a prosecutor asking for her son to be held, knowing that if her son were to leave that courthouse building, the next time she would see him would be in the morgue. Talk to anybody and they may have a similar story to share with you. That's why as a community, we have to come together to help those who are addicted, but also to hold those responsible who are selling drugs in our community. Tuesday, September 10th is Election Day. And once again, I respectfully ask for your vote. But I'm also asking for your help. From now until then, please talk to your family, your friends, your neighbors. Help them get the message out that on Tuesday, September 10th, we need your vote to get reelected. Thank you, and God bless.
Good morning, residents of Fall River. My name is William Grunwalski. Everybody knows me as Red, and I prefer to be called that. I am coming to you today to tell you that I am seeking the office of mayor for the city of Fall River. Fall River is in big need of changes. I've been here in the city now since I was 9 years old, and the changes that we need to have done, we have not had any changes since the Driscoll for various years. If I seem a little off tone, it's because I am not using a teleprompter. I'm just talking through from the heart because I am your candidate from the street. I am tired of the politics as usual here in the city of Fall River. I have seen on several occasions where the money mongrels, the people with the big money, the big names here in the city, get everything they want. They don't see no fines, they don't see nothing, but the poor man on the street sees everything. These things have to stop. All people need to be created under the equal standards here in the city. The city has ordinances and laws that are put out there to keep control of bad people. Another thing is on the housing situations that are being attacked now. It's great to attack the housings that need to be upgraded because the people live in squalor. But living in squalor means, where do these people go once they're put out? Where do they go? They go to a hotel in Swansea where the citizens have to foot the bill, or does it go to the landlords that are running these slum buildings? This has to be addressed and addressed right. My issue is that they should take one of these school buildings that are vacant right now, and they're giving away to other people for parking lots. These school buildings should be turned into, one should be turned into an emergency shelter. One, if you have to evict these people because of the squalor that they're living in, they need somewhere to go. If they can give them a 90-day term in one of these buildings to stay while they seek housing elsewhere. Also, I'm not going to stand here and tell people that I am going to try to cut taxes, this and that. I cannot make no promises that are not true. I'm not going to make no statements like politicians because I am not a politician. I'm your man from the street. I cannot make no promises, but I promise I will do everything in my power if I'm put into office here in the city to take it right from the street to the street and give City Hall back to you people of Fall River. I appreciate this time that's been given to me to mention this to you, and I seek your vote come September 13th. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Richard Renzi, and I am once again seeking the office of mayor. I am 45 years of age and currently residing in the St. Anne's section of the city. For the next few moments, I am going to speak to you in a language that everyone watching this can understand. You may remember me from the 2011 mayoral race, for my message was clear then and is even more so now. And that is, we can no longer afford to make a mistake, for our financial destiny is upon us. Our current spending via this administration is no different today than it was 25 years ago. The path that we are on is simply unsustainable, and the longer we ignore it, the worse it is going to get. If we do not make the necessary changes together for the best interest of ourselves, meaning a city, then the inevitable will be that of bankruptcy, for it is only about 5 to 6 years away. On September 10th of this year, you will have a choice to make for November. We can do what we did in 2009, where the mayor didn't make it past the preliminary and 2 new faces went on to November. Or we can pick the mayor and another candidate. The choice is yours. I hope to be that candidate. A vote for me come September and again in November assures you this: lower taxes, more police, and better education. For all 3, I want just as bad as you do. I will be a true representative of the people, as my goal is and will always be to simply do the right thing for you, the people of this great city. Because after all these years, you, the hardworking person, deserves it. Let's put this city back on the map by first taking responsibility for our economy and her future. Secondly, choosing me in September and November. And together we will make this place once again one of the best places for families to reside, work, and play in. As a 24-year security and loss prevention specialist, former business owner, and a man of conviction, I can stand here and proudly say that I am still the only one of 6 new candidates that paid for his own campaign by not seeking fundraising, is truly not connected to anyone here in the city, do not owe any political favors, promises, either by party or by default. that if given the chance to lead, I will lead by example and not by fear, and will restore proper government to that of this great city for its time, Fall River. And I can plan for tomorrow by seeing beyond today. I am the only one of 6 candidates that has prepared a list of things that I will do. As mayor, I will. Everything on this list is all doable tasks, okay, as a mayor. And I will do them for you. So in closing, I will once again say, a vote for me is a vote for you. For that is how real representation is supposed to work. Thank you.
Those are the candidates running for mayor in the Fall River preliminary election. The election is Tuesday, September 10th. The top 2 vote getters in the election, as well as all the candidates for school committee and city council, will have the opportunity to tape another statement prior to the November 5th city election. If you're unsure on where to vote this election day, contact the Fall River Elections Office at 508-324-2630. That's Meet the Candidates. I'm Keith Tebow. Please make a point to vote on Tuesday, September 10th.